Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. My name is Ace and I've got some more Guild Wars 2 content here for you. And as the title should have given away already, this video will all be about a PvEer going into a PvP environment, also known to be world versus world, or server versus two other servers, or world versus two other worlds. And in this video I'm going to talk a little bit about why if you are in fact a PvEer, you should at least give World v World a try. Now, as many of you should know, if you have seen my previous Guild Wars 2 content, you know that I like to be all about that I am all about the PvE, to be more exact. I am all about joining up with, a group of people that I like to play with, or just people that I don't know but are competent, to say the least. And then just take on giant bosses, may they be world events or just straight up raids or dungeons with badass bosses. I am all about getting that satisfaction of killing a giant boss after having a very difficult and hard fight. The good old days, if you like. And there are many fights like that in, of course, Guild Wars 2. But considering they don't really exist in a PvP environment because you're fighting other players, I never found myself enjoying PvP, especially not the PvP where you're fighting, let's say, 3 versus 3 or 2 versus 2 and just fighting each other, and then the one who can last the longest wins the game. I never found myself enjoying that. Well, World v World is a very decent middle ground. I don't really think it can really get better than this for a PvE meets PvP environment. If you basically strip everything from World v World, there is basically a lot of camps and a lot of overlooks and a castle that you can take over, especially if you're fighting within Eternal Battlegrounds. There's a giant castle in the middle. But everything you need to do, everything you want to take over, requires you to kill the environment, or also known to be the NPCs. So that's a very good PvE quality in a PvP environment. Of course, other people will be trying the same thing, other people from other servers, and you have to fight them. But because of the amount of people in World v World, it doesn't really feel like you're having that arena experience. Which for me makes it a lot more enjoyable, because it gives you a bigger PvE vibe instead of a PvP vibe, if you like. And in addition to that, there's also a lot of PvE benefits you can get from playing within World v World. Well, first of all, you can just queue up while you're questing. You don't have to go to a specific hub. The thing that I do with World v World while leveling up was real simple. I was just going out and questing, doing world events, dynamic events. And then when that queue came up, I just joined it, played for an hour and got out of there a lot stronger and potentially even a lot better geared. The major benefit from a PvE perspective, especially while leveling, is that you can get a lot of XP, a lot of good gear as well. Not amazing gear, but definitely good gear. Like, I'm talking blues that are actually decent, or just even straight up greens with good stats, perfectly designed for your level. So just jumping into World v World can actually help your questing. For example, I had some issues while questing and trying to level up, following my own personal storyline on my Norn Guardian, which you can actually see playing in World v World right now. I fell behind on my content level-wise, and the normal thing to do then is just to enjoy some crafting, but I'm not really the crafting type of person, or find different zones, due to the fact that you can actually, get leveled down and skilled down and still get nice XP for your official level, to put it like that, while being in a different starting zone. But I don't really felt like going from zone to zone to zone to zone just to keep up with my own personal storyline. So what could I do then? Is I just basically joined in World v World, had a refreshing experience instead of just following the renown in the hearts that you have to do, of course. And then came out a stronger person and went on continuing my storyline and the quests that would lead up to my storyline. So it is actually quite nice that you have the possibility to have this PvE/PvP experience while questing. Once again, like I stated before, it doesn't take that much effort to get in. You just queue up And even if you're busy and the queue pops up, you can just re-enter the queue. So it's very convenient, and on top of that also very lucrative, depending on how you look at it, of course. Now, as you see in this video, I am basically following a giant group of people, and I am pretty much convinced that you guys should see that it doesn't really feel like a PvP experience, not the basic PvP experience. And within World v World, there's just also straight up PvE goals. For example, I believe that we are going to go during this video into 2 of them, where you basically beat some NPCs up and they will join your side and they will actually gain, you know, beneficial stats or beneficial things for your server side if you have control or if you are allied with them. For example, if you take over the Dredge, they will give you, well, Dredge that will fight with you and help you defend certain things, as well as of course random cannons that can pop up on specific locations that can be very annoying for the enemy that you're fighting. So, if you don't really like PvP yourself, and you are more of a PvE player such as myself, I would really recommend giving World v World a bit of a chance. Now, this video was actually an idea of mine when some of my guildies were really fiercely even fighting against the concept of going into World v World, even though a vast majority was doing it, and they were getting nice loot, nice experience. And yet at the same time they were complaining that they couldn't level up quite enough, and yet they didn't ever give World v World a chance. And it's very sad to see, because like I said, it's a very nice middle ground. There's a lot of PvE goals within, you know, this PvP environment, and yes, of course you have to fight other people sometimes. But as you can see during this video, I am working with a group of people together, and a group of people can be very intimidating. So standalone enemies, they won't fight you. And if you're fighting against another group of people that is as big as yours, then the chances that you may rally or just get revived after the fight is over, assuming you will win, you know, they are very high. So there's no downtime really. Of course, if you are completely getting obliterated, it's a completely different story. It still has that PvP side to it, so be careful. And you are not forced to go into a fight. You can always just retreat and buy, for example, siege weapons. Also a very good example, I find. Siege weaponry in this game can be bought by a few silver pieces, or if you really want to go for it, a gold piece. And these siege weapons, especially in the big Zergs, when you are, for example, just on a Zerg rush towards keeps and taking them over and such, which by the way is very, very good XP and very good karma gain. Don't get me started about that, so that's very lucrative to start off with. But if you have a few people buying siege weaponry, like siege rams, you can only increase the speed that you will gain experience with theoretically. On top of that, if you, for example, just want to defend because you are getting obliterated, you can do that as well. You can buy arrow cards or even ballistas. Or if you really want to push it, go for, of course, a trebuchet and, you know, fire at Stone Mist Castle if you're fighting in Eternal Battlegrounds, which is something that is very much a disadvantage for the enemy once you really get it off, because there are very, very annoying things you can do with siege weaponry on specific locations, which are very hard to counter, yet you can still gain a nice benefit for it. May it be XP, may it be, you know, just the advantage of your team being able to go through a wall because you blasted it away with your siege weaponry. There's a lot of things you can do, and there's a lot of choices you can make. And that's why I really enjoy World v World, even though it's PvP, and I'm a PvEer. So let me know what you think. Perhaps I'm wrong, perhaps this is all personal opinion, I'll leave that up to you. But check it out, give it a chance, and let me know how it went. And I will catch you guys next time. Take care.